Ken Rosenthal saying that they've been talking, the Pirates and the Mets, about McCutchen, something they did last offseason as well. It's not a big surprise at this point that they're talking. Do you want him, though?
Absolutely. I think it's worth a shot. I mean, this is a guy who was a little bit insulted last year when they moved him out of center field, even though he got a good opportunity in center for most of the season because of Marte's suspension. But he proved that he still has a lot left this year. And I think it's great taking a chance on a guy who's going into his walk here because he knows that if he wants to get himself another contract beyond next season, he's going to have a big year. He's a great clubhouse guy. This is a guy who's a former MVP player. I think he'd bring a lot of intangibles, and some production, too, to this Mets team.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, look, they've obviously been looking for more of a corner guy, has been what we've heard out of this team all offseason. But Andrew McCutchen's a good player. There was talk about his decline a year ago, as you said, Dan, and those reports of his demise were obviously overstated. Maybe somebody who was moving into being a corner guy himself, but if he's putting up those offensive numbers in center field for the Mets, who obviously could use another bat, yeah, sure. And I would move a Lagares in a heartbeat. And as I said in the A block, that's a TV term, A block. For you out there, that means the first section of the show.
This is the B.
That's right. This is the B block. But as I said back in the first segment of the show, they'll take on salary. I believe they'd pay McCutchen if they could work out a deal, which would prevent them having to give up too much player-wise for 1 year of the guy.
So it all seems like it would work out. It's a perfect puzzle piece.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Now you have him there. You have Conforto coming back, and then you have those three guys. Huge upgrade, right? So you're not really worrying about the Lagares, having Lagares as the fourth outfielder. Now you have a Nimmo out there as a little piece that you can dangle. Again, Nimmo has value to someone. Might not be with this team, but they have to start advertising it as such. All the good things about Nimmo, all the good things about Dom Smith, because if you want to trade away these players that you're feeling that you might not have a need for and you want to go get some pieces that are more, I would say, more valued, then you have to start building up not the minor league guys, the guys that have now touched the major leagues and that have had some success. So guys like Nimmo and Dom Smith, if you're not having plans for them, start packaging these guys.
Andy, you mentioned Lagares. Lagares plus what gets you McCutchen? And does a potential deal for McCutchen include Josh Harrison as well?
Well, that's been going back to the winter meetings, Doug. There was some, I don't want to say that the Mets were talking to Pirates about Harrison and McCutchen, but, like, there was just a little scout gossip and stuff like that about, like, hey, that'd be something the Mets should do. So it obviously makes sense. One thing to keep an eye on here that's going to make it tough, and not to dodge your question about what exactly players would it take, but Neil Huntington, the Pirates GM, is known as a really tough GM to deal with. We saw it with the Yankees and Garrett Cole, and there's a lot of examples of this. It's just like he is so conservative, he's so slow to move. So maybe he ends up asking for more than what I wouldn't give up a lot player-wise for McCutchen, not for 1 year of him. I would say if we'll pay his salary, you need someone to play center field, throw in Lagares and a Nimmo or something, someone who's not that whatever, just a throw-in type guy. And if they want more, if Huntington wants more than that, don't do it.
And I think if you could get a Harrison with it, I mean, absolutely to do it. I mean, Harrison to me is almost as valuable, if not more, than McCutchen. I mean, the guy could play every position known to man except for catcher, maybe. So, and I think what Andy said, he's spot on because McCutchen's going into his walk here with the money. You might not have to give up a lot. But if you were going to assume that when healthy, Cespedes is an everyday outfielder for the Mets, Conforto when he's back an everyday outfielder, then you have that third piece of the outfield. I would much rather see Andrew McCutchen in center field every day as opposed to Michael Conforto if the Mets went the Jay Bruce route and brought in another corner out.